Hey everyone, thank you for coming to this True Review today. Today I'm going to be talking to you about La La Land. Finally got to see it. Even though the movie came out over 2 months ago, our small town here in Rexburg, Idaho, just now got it in our theater. We can get monster trucks its opening weekend, but we have to wait 2 months to see La La Land. So a little frustrating, but my wife and I saw it this week and we absolutely loved it. It's written and directed by Damien Chazelle, who is an incredible director. His movie from a few years ago, Whiplash, did really well at the Oscars as well. Also a fantastic movie. But his movie this year, La La Land, is coming up with the Oscars this Sunday with 14 nominations, tied with Titanic and another old movie called All About Eve for the most nominations for any film. So really exciting. Whether or not it deserves those 14 nominations is up to debate, but I can say from my point of view, I totally love this movie. I thought it was just magical. That's the only word that kept coming to my head as I was watching this movie, is just magical. My wife and I saw it together and we were just eating it up. It's emotional, it's very touching, the music is super well done, it's really effective. So let's just kind of jump into it. One thing I do want to do today, though, because this review is coming so late to the game, I am going to be talking about spoilers, but I'll wait to talk about those in the back half. So I'll talk about some of the things I liked in this film for those who have yet to see it, and then I'll get into talking about the ending and a few other things towards the end of the video. So first off, director Damien Chazelle. Like I said, a wonderful director. He's really, really great at making music exciting to watch. That was one thing he did really great in Whiplash, and something he does again great in this film. There's a lot of jazz music in this movie, and he makes it really exciting. Who would have thought that jazz music would be exciting to watch? And that is one thing that I really love about his directing style. But one of my favorite things about this movie that Damien Chazelle really, as the writer and the director, brought in was this blending of classic and modern. He uses a lot of bright, very saturated colors, which call back heavily to the movie musicals of old from 20, 30, 40 years ago. And that is one thing he does great, is he brings in that aesthetic and he blends it with modern storytelling. We'll get into the way he blends that into modern storyteller later as we talk about spoilers. But that blend is so well done. If anyone ever is making a reboot or a remake of any movie and is banking on nostalgia, this is a great movie to use as an example. The way he films, one of the things he does is he does a lot of one takes in the musical numbers, which to me is one of the most impressive things ever. Creed, that came out last year, one of the fights in that was a one take as well. One takes to me are like the most impressive things in movies. I love when directors use them because so much effort goes into it. The opening sequence, when the traffic jam musical number, the fact that that was all done on just a moving camera, all in one take, blows my mind. I cannot believe that they were able to achieve that. Another great example of this in this movie is the audition scene where Emma Stone sings for one of her auditions. Many of you who have seen it understand the emotion in that scene, but it's just incredible. The camera just spins around her in this amazing one take. She sings it live, so much emotion that not only did Emma Stone bring in her acting performance, which I'll talk about next, but also Damien was able to bring with his directing and this idea of having this one take and just the camera spinning around her. So effective. I grew up watching musicals both on film and in the theater, and I can say that this film, more so than any other movie musical I've seen, really made me feel like I was watching it in an auditorium on Fifth Avenue in Seattle rather than just sitting in the local theater here in Rexburg. And that was really cool to me. It made me really feel like I was there. It's truly a beautiful film and definitely deserves a Best Directing nomination, and I hope he wins because I think Damien Chazelle is a great filmmaker and an incredible director. And so now as we move on, we talk about Emma Stone, who is truly amazing in this film. The past few months leading up to me finally seeing this, anytime anyone talks about La La Land and my mom was involved, her comment was always, "We loved it. Emma Stone was amazing." She says she constantly was praising Emma Stone, and I'm totally on board with that. I've been a big fan of Emma Stone's for a long time, and it was so cool to see her in such a different role, as she's normally a comedic actress. It was really cool to see her kind of take on, although there is comedy in La La Land, there's a lot of drama in there as well, and seeing her sing and her dancing, it was just, all of it was just spectacular. She did really well. And then Ryan Gosling, just incredible. One of the things that Damien, I saw in an interview, the director, that he wanted to do is he wanted to do these musical numbers where Ryan Gosling's character Sebastian would be playing the piano, and he wanted to be able to pan up from the hands to the actor without cutting. And so for that to happen, Ryan Gosling actually had to learn how to play jazz piano. So in the 3 months prior to the film, he practiced piano, singing, and dancing every single day with Emma Stone. They both did their singing and dancing instruction together every single day for 3 months in pre-production, so that when it came time to film, they were ready to go. Such dedication. Ryan Gosling's comedic timing is also so on point. There are many scenes where just the way he would say something, or how he would wait just a hair and then say his little response, just got so many laughs out of me. I thought he was brilliant comedically, and his piano playing was so great. I struggled to believe that it was actually him playing, but he did really great as well. And of course, you can't talk about a musical without talking about the music itself. Justin Hurwitz, who did the music and lyrics for this, did so incredible. Every single musical number, I was on the edge of my seat. I was, totally engaged. I absolutely loved the music in this film. That Sebastian and Mia's theme that plays throughout, the City of Stars song that plays throughout the whole movie, that's another callback to old musicals, of having a central theme that plays throughout the whole movie. And one of the things that's cool is you hear different renditions of it depending on what's going on in the story at that time, which was really, really cool to hear. I've been listening to the soundtrack from it all week, and I've totally fallen in love with it. So now we're going to get into spoilers. So those of you who have not seen the film yet, you might want to just plug your ears or just skip forward a little bit later so you can see my score. But one of the more divisive things about La La Land has been the ending and the what if scenario, the ending musical number. I personally love the fact that was not the true ending. I thought it was really gutsy of Damien Chazelle to have these two characters and you kind of follow their relationship, and to have them not end up together. I think when I talked earlier about how Damien did a really good job of blending the classical with the modern, that's how he did it. He took a classical idea of having a movie musical and then blended it with this modern idea of not having the characters end up together. This modern idea of realism, which is really interesting and I thought worked really well. I loved the idea that we got to see that what if scenario, but I also loved that we got to see like the last shot of Emma Stone's character turning back and looking at Ryan Gosling and them sharing a smile together. This idea that even though they're not together and they still will always love each other, like they said earlier in the film, it seems like though they're very happy with where they're at. And I think that smile is kind of showcases that yes, I still have I'll always love you, but I'm good where I'm at. And I just really like that idea. I like that Damien was able to kind of blend in that modern realism with the kind of fantastical and surrealism that we see earlier in the film with them. For example, the musical number in the planetarium where they start lifting off into the stars. He was able to ground it with this kind of real, they don't end up together, and not tie a big happy bow on the end of it. I really admire Damien Chazelle for making a film that way. And I really thought it was cool how earlier in the film, John Legend's character, Keith, the one who plays, who invites Sebastian to come play in a jazz combo with him, is he's getting on Ryan Gosling's back for being too traditional, and that jazz, and he's talking about jazz. He said, jazz is the future. We need to modernize it. He said, yeah, you're wanting to play traditional jazz, but you're playing it to 90-year-olds. Where are the kids? And I love that the Damien Chazelle, that's basically what he did with this film, is he took this traditional idea and blended it with this modern idea. And now you have kids like me who are totally in love with it. And my wife too, who actually was not raised on musicals like I was, she loved this film. She was emotional during the entire last hour, and I was too. I mean, it was truly a beautiful film, and is in my top 3 favorite films of the year. I don't know where these top 3 films rank, but between La La Land, Sing Street, and Captain America: Civil War, 3 kind of different films, but those have been my 3 favorite films of the year. And in terms of a score, I have to give La La Land a 10 out of 10. La La Land truly was flawless. I enjoyed every single second of it, and I hope it just dominates the Oscars on Sunday. I'm also going to include in the description down below links to 2 videos that I think do a really good job of explaining where Damien Chazelle's influences came from for this film. They talk about old movie musicals and how they were able to influence this film and kind of what those brought to the table, and they're able to show kind of shot-by-shot comparisons of classic movie musicals as well as La La Land. Super interesting stuff. If you're interested in that at all, I highly recommend you check out those links down below in the description. But thank you guys again for watching this true review. Be sure to like my video and subscribe and share my video. That way I can get more followers on YouTube and can get more traffic that way. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram and Facebook at True Reviews. And thank you guys again. I'll see you next time.